DJ Akademiks got on Clubhouse with Wack 100 recently and sparked a whole debate about Kendrick Lamar. His main point? That Kendrick's run doesn't match up to the impact of legends like Lil Wayne, Drake, 50 Cent, or Jay-Z, but honestly, that comparison doesn't make a lot of sense. Especially right now, while Kendrick is still in the middle of one of the most impressive runs rap has ever seen. First off, you can't compare someone who's still red hot and active with people whose peaks are behind them. Kendrick is in the news every other day, either for breaking some crazy record or getting another big award. His latest tour is already set to be one of the highest grossing rap tours of all time. And when you look at the music, the records, the consistency, Kendrick's doing things that most rappers only dream of. His latest album, GNX, was written off by some people at first, especially diehard Drake fans who said it wouldn't last more than a couple of weeks. Well, here we are, and GNX is still the best-selling rap album of the year. It's also the fastest rap album to reach 3 billion streams this decade, and Kendrick didn't even need a massive track list to pull that off. He got there with fewer songs and did it faster than Travis Scott's Utopia, which is no small feat. When Akademiks says Kendrick's impact doesn't touch someone like Wayne, it's kind of a strange take. Sure, Wayne's influence was everywhere. Back in the day, people were copying his style left and right, but that was a different time. 50 Cent had an insane run, but even he cooled off after a while. And as for Drake, while he's definitely had a long and dominant career, there's a real argument that he's been influenced by others more than he's shaped the culture himself. With Kendrick, what's wild is that he's making history while staying in his own lane. He's not trying to fit into some trend. He's setting new ones. His approach is original, artistic, and hard to copy, which is exactly why so many other artists haven't even tried to mimic his sound. Back in the day, it was considered lame to bite someone else's flow. Now, Akademiks is acting like that's the standard for measuring impact. And if we're being honest, Kendrick's run hasn't even peaked yet. He's still putting out charting songs from last year. There are rumors of a Clips feature coming soon, and maybe even a deluxe edition of GNX dropping. Kendrick's doing $10 to $15 million per show. That's not normal. That's rare air. And he's doing all of this while also running PG Lang, which isn't just a music label. It's a full-on creative company that's producing films, projects, and working in other spaces. He's already stepped beyond rap, something a lot of other #1 rappers never managed to do at this level. So when Akademiks tries to argue that Kendrick isn't doing what someone like Drake did when he was hot, like collaborating with new artists or helping shape the culture, that's just not accurate. Kendrick's done that, just in his own way. Drake hopping on the Migos Versace didn't make the Migos. They were already going to be big. Kendrick, on the other hand, has taken unknown names and put them on massive platforms. Artists like AZ Chike got huge reactions during his tour, with fans losing their minds when those songs came on. That's real influence, just not the flashy kind. And then there's the idea that Kendrick's success is isolated, like it's just Kendrick and no one else. But that's a strange criticism. If anything, that speaks to how unique he is. Kendrick's sound isn't something you can just duplicate. During Lil Wayne's run, he was jumping on everybody's beats and out-rapping them. That wasn't creating a new sound. It was taking what was already hot and making it harder. Kendrick is building his own sound from scratch, and people know better than to even try and copy it because they can't pull it off. A lot of Akademiks' points are about how artists like Jay-Z or 50 Cent helped bring others up with them. But even that argument falls apart when you look closer. Jay had state property, sure, but how far did they really go? Most of those artists run labels like G-Unit, Young Money, or even OVO didn't do all that much beyond 1 or 2 stars. Young Money had Drake and Nicki Minaj, but the rest barely made a dent. OVO, Party Next Door is probably the biggest name there, and he only just got his first #1 hit. These labels didn't build whole rosters of stars like people act like they did. And if we're talking about influence and shaping eras, how about this? Kanye West did more to change the sound of rap than almost anyone. The Chipmunk soul samples, the 808s, the shift into more introspective music. Kanye pushed the whole genre forward. But even then, you've got to give credit to Dame Dash for seeing that Kanye had potential as more than just a producer. Kanye changed the game, but that was during a time when rap was already undergoing a big transformation. Today's rap landscape isn't the same. Each region used to have its own sound. West Coast, East Coast, South, Midwest. Now everyone's sort of blending together. And that's not just in hip-hop. Pop and country are going through the same thing. Country music is borrowing from hip-hop left and right. Artists like Shabuzi are literally interpolating rap records. The whole genre is shifting, and Kendrick is one of the few trying to make something new instead of just following whatever's trending on TikTok. Akademiks wants to see Kendrick do what others did. Build a squad, put everyone on, create a movement. But maybe Kendrick's movement is not doing things the way they've always been done. He's taken a different path, lifting up unknowns instead of jumping on the same handful of hot artists. Look at someone like Lefty Gunplay. That guy barely sold any records, but when Kendrick brought him out on tour, the crowd exploded when that track dropped. Kendrick gave him the biggest platform of his life, even though it wasn't the most obvious or easy choice. That's what real leadership looks like in music. Putting people on not because they're already blowing up, but because you believe in their talent. That's not how most rappers do it. Most only co-sign artists who are already catching fire so they can keep their own buzz alive. Kendrick isn't chasing that. He's making long-term artistic decisions, and while it might not show up on the charts for every single person he touches, the impact is real. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room, the beef with Drake. This is easily the biggest rap beef in decades, and Kendrick made history with it. A diss track going #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. That's never been done before. That's the kind of cultural shift that goes way beyond just putting out hit records. And Kendrick did it while staying true to himself and his sound. Akademiks keeps talking about how when you're at the top, you should be changing the whole sound of the genre. But maybe that's just not realistic anymore. Maybe the reason no one sounds like Kendrick is because they can't. It's not about being selfish, it's about being so good and so original that people don't even try to copy you. That's a compliment, not a flaw. People said the same things about Tupac, that he didn't really bring other artists with him, but no one questions his legacy. His era is remembered because it felt like a movement, even if it was centered around one guy. And Kendrick's era feels the same way. He's the dominant voice. He's the one setting the bar. And just like with Tupac, the music is going to stand the test of time, whether or not he had a whole crew riding with him. So when people say Kendrick's run is isolated, it's really just another way of saying he's in a league of his own. And that's the truth. He's breaking records, topping charts, selling out stadiums, and still managing to stay unique in a world where everyone sounds the same. That's not a weakness. That's the definition of greatness. And this run is not even close to being over. Kendrick's still heating up. The tour's still going. The awards are still coming in. The records are still breaking. When he finally decides to take a break, it'll be because he wants to, not because someone else knocked him off. And when we look back at this era, we're going to remember it as the Kendrick Lamar era. Not because he changed everyone else, but because he changed what was possible. So yeah, academics might want to move the goalposts again. But no matter how you try to frame it, the facts are the facts. Kendrick Lamar is at the top, and nobody else is even close.